Sourced from their respective books by director and screenwriter Nora Ephron. Continuing an association with Ms. Ephron that extends back to Silkwood in the early 80s, Meryl Streep stars as the larger-than-life Julia Child. An American diplomat's wife in post-war Paris, she falls in love with French cuisine and embarks on a mission to share its wonders with her fellow countrywomen via a definitive cookbook, a work which in turn led to her becoming an institution on American television. A parallel story follows the ever-appealing Amy Adams as modern-day New York office worker Julie Powell. Realizing her life lacks focus, she gives herself exactly 365 days to boil, bake, roast and fry her way through all 524 recipes of Julia Child's magnum opus, Mastering the Art of French Cooking.
If I really wanted to learn to cook, I could just cook my way through Julia Child's cookbook. I could blog about that. I have a copy. I stole it from my mother last time I was in Texas. When I was 8, my father's boss came to dinner and it was a really big deal, and my mother made boeuf bourguignon. But it wasn't just boeuf bourguignon, it was Julia's boeuf bourguignon.
I learned to cook with Julia Child. Everyone did. Everyone made boeuf bourguignon and had a dinner party where they served it. Then, of course, she went on television. This crazy 6'2" woman who was kind of darling and completely inept at being on television in the beginning. And everyone in America fell in love with her.
When you flip anything, you've just got to have the courage of your convictions, especially if it's a loose sort of mass, like, oh, that didn't go very well. But you see, when I flipped it, I didn't have the courage I needed to the way I should have. But you can always put it together. And you're alone in the kitchen. Who's to see?
Pearls. The woman who's wearing pearls in the kitchen.
You just got to practice. Like the piano. I'm Julia Child. Bon appetit.
But back in 1950s Paris, Julia Child was just another American wife struggling to find a purpose in life.
Shouldn't I find something to do?
Wives don't do anything here. That's not me. This is not me.
Yeah.
I saw a notice on the bulletin board at the embassy. Hat-making lessons.
You like hats?
I do. I do.
What is it that you really like to do?
Eat.
I like to do. I know. And you're so good at it. Look at you. Now, how good you are.
Front of you.
Julia Child didn't just have a passion for her husband or cooking. She had a passion for living. She had real, true joie de vivre. She loved being alive.
Like Julia Child, Nora Ephron can also find her raison d'etre in the kitchen.
There's a joy in cooking. I think that's one of the things that Julie Powell learned from her, and it's certainly something I learned from her, which was the pleasure of making something that is absolutely delicious that you get to feed to the people you love.
And it was like she was there, like Julia was there, in the room, on our side, like some great, big, good fairy. And everything was going to be all right.
That's the real secret of food, is that it's about the people you love, and it's about your family, and it's about your home. The kitchen is the center of your home, really.
Paul designed all of the secret war rooms for General Mountbatten.
Well, just maps and exhibits and things. It wasn't...
He did. He single-handedly won the war.
Well, I had to. Someone did. I mean, it was dragging on, wasn't it? Anyway, so there we were in China, just friends, having dinner. And... and it turned out to be Julia. It turned out to be Julia all along. Julia, you are the butter to my bread and the breath to my life. I love you, darling girl. Happy Valentine's Day.
When its key contributors include Meryl Streep, Amy Adams and Nora Ephron, it's fair to say that Julie and Julia have some impressive credentials, and I'm delighted to report that this life-affirming film pretty much completely delivers on its potential. The aim, of course, is to show how two very different lives are transformed, though while the Amy Adams plotline is above-par contemporary rom-com fare, the real entertainment value lies with Meryl Streep's performance as Julia Child. We don't need proof that Ms. Streep is an actress of astonishing talent, but I'm not about to complain when she continues to provide it. Here she is just extraordinary as this unusual, ungainly, exuberant character let loose in post-war Paris, itself recreated with very appealing elan. Around Streep's character there's a wonderful comic turn from Jane Lynch as her even taller sister, and a beautifully subtle performance from Stanley Tucci as her cultivated, adoring husband. All this means that even if the attempt to connect the two main characters doesn't quite succeed, Julie and Julia is still a rich, warm, hugely enjoyable experience. While I didn't leave the cinema desperate for some French cuisine, I did feel I'd had a full helping of uplifting entertainment from filmmakers who love this material and really understand their craft. It's more than